tea cafe. It's a lovely sunny day. I'm in the shade, obviously. Let's meet our panel now. So let's talk first of all to the owner. Good morning, Kelly. Thank you very much for hosting us today on the People's Panel. It's absolutely rammed in here. How's business and what's your secret?
Business is brilliant. We've not had no bad experience of business. We've kept it all through the lockdown. It's doing really well. Our prices are low and business is booming.
That's really great to hear. Lots of people enjoying full English breakfast. I might be tempted a little bit later. Right, let's go and talk to our panel now. Thank you all very much for coming out this morning. Lorraine, I'm going to talk to you first. You worked as a magistrate. You worked for the Border Force for 27 years. Obviously, illegal immigration, people coming across the Channel, a huge issue around the country, but you're really bearing the brunt of it in Dover. Tell us what you think about the government's policy. Rishi Sunak said he's going to stop the boats. Is he? And what's the effect locally?
I don't believe a word that comes from the government. We lent our votes to the Conservatives because we thought Brexit was actually going to happen. We've never been given the Brexit that we wanted. There are illegal immigrants coming up on the local beaches that are disappearing into the wider countryside. A lady last year at Aycliffe had one break into her house and frightened her during the day, came into her kitchen. They are everywhere. We don't know where they are. The government lost control a long time ago. People locally have to wait 6 to 8 months to get a dentist appointment, but they hold slots open every day at my dentist for illegals to be brought in by Border Force to be seen by a dentist just in case they need it. They jump the queue in the hospitals. Border Force walks straight into the front of the queue with them, and nobody locally can actually get to see anybody. And if we thought that our country defence was poor before, we've now got Grant Shapps in charge. We are in a really sorry state if that bloke is in charge of our defence.
Not a fan of Grant Shapps. Feelings running very high in Dover about this issue, understandably. Let's talk now to you, Steve. Steve, you were a deputy prison governor. We'll talk a bit about Wandsworth Jail later. But we were talking a bit earlier about climate change and the net zero policies. Give us your thoughts, and I think also you've got a question for Labour, haven't you?
Yes. Firstly, I'm not sold on the climate issue. I don't think the science is settled as we're being told it is. The country is being crippled with a cost of living crisis which has been exacerbated by the net zero agenda. I'd like to know what Labour would do differently if to what the Conservatives are doing, because as far as I can see, there is not a fag paper's difference between the two parties.
Well, Rishi Sunak last week sort of set the cat among the pigeons, didn't he, by softening a lot of these net zero targets, lengthening the dates before you have to buy electric cars, etc. But yes, obviously the cost of living is high on everybody's minds, and people are worried about that, and green policies. Of course, Labour would say that green agenda, that there's lots of jobs, that's the future. But let's talk now to you, Ian. You are a dog walker and trainer. You work for animal charities all over the world. We're going to talk a tiny bit about XL bullies, but also you've got a question about immigration as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I just need to know what Labour are doing at the moment. They seem to be changing their mind every 5 minutes. Are we going to sort of take thousands in from the EU and then give a handful back, or nobody knows what they're doing?
They're going to have to be rather clearer, aren't they, in the run-up to the next election about what they actually do intend to do. I'm being told to wrap very, very quickly. XL bullies, is the problem the dogs or the owners?
The owners. It's another dog that's in a long list of line, like pit bulls and everything. Just in a long list of dogs that have been demonised, really.
OK, so a ban coming. Of course, the dogs won't be culled, but they will have to be muzzled going forwards. So that's it for now, Camilla. We'll look forward to seeing what the politicians have to say, and we'll come back to you a bit later. Thank you.
Thanks very much indeed for that, Catherine. Sorry, we've got such a packed show. We're trying to cram everything in, so we're going to come back to Dover in a little while. By the way, don't forget, if you want to apply for the People's Panel next week, it's gbnews.com/panel. Now, I'm delighted to be in the studio with backbencher extraordinaire Daniel Kawczynski. He's the Tory MP for Shrewsbury and Atcham. Daniel, lovely to see you this morning. You ready for a May election?